It is Warped Rationale with Ben and Eric. I'm Eric.
I'm Ben.
What's up, everybody?
Woo!
So, we were recording, and I had this thought, and I was like, I'll save this, because this will be good. So, you're going along about your day. You're having a conversation with somebody new.
Yeah, that's how I do.
You're just talking to somebody. Let's say,
me.
I was about to say,
I'm always
that's
meeting
you.
people.
That's you, man.
That's me to a T.
Always doing interviews and
Why? Okay, now it actually is me. Never mind.
No, okay. So you're meeting somebody new, and you're talking to them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, they're like, oh, well, what do you do? And it's like, what do you do for fun? You're like, oh, I play, I play video games. And,
sure. Yeah.
And just hang out. And all of a sudden it's like, they don't make a face or anything. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then like all of a sudden, like a big whale emoji just appears in front of their face, because whatever you're thinking about at the time suddenly becomes an emoji in front of your face.
Broadcasting what you're
thinking about
to
with
just
an emoji.
Anybody within eyesight.
Yeah, anybody can see it. So to people around who don't hear the conversation, just see a whale emoji, and they're like, what?
Dude, I'm seeing a whale emoji.
You're looking
like,
at a whale.
What? What's with the whale?
They're calling you fat.
Is it?
You're as big as a whale.
That's shitty.
Exactly.
Now I got a big old shit in front of my face that they're looking at, huh?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you've got the big pile of shit there.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh.
So this is the world you live in, and it's not, like we said, it's not a hologram. It's magic. Like, and everybody within the area can see it.
Yeah.
It appears long enough for people to see it and then goes away. And the person that's talking doesn't, maybe they don't know at the time, or maybe they're not thinking about it. They've lived in this world, but they're not thinking about it.
The expectation that I had based on you telling me is that you don't really control it. You can kind of make an educated guess of what's going to appear over your head based on what you're thinking or what you're saying.
Right.
But that you can't visually see it. So you have no way of confirming, with the exception of the reaction of other people, whether or not they know that you're thinking about somebody's ass.
Right.
Like, or whatever, you know.
So yeah, that's the world. That's the world.
That's the world that we live
now.
in.
That's where we are now.
That's rough,
like,
dude.
Do you? I don't know, man. I think I have more conversations with people.
No, I think it would be. I think it would be disheartening. Like, have you ever seen a TV show where somebody gets telepathy and they could read people's minds, and then it turns out that what everybody's thinking is just horrible, and they wish they had never known? Like, if you think about every awful, shameful thing you think during the day, and I am just a filthy hive of shit that I don't want anybody to know that I've thought.
Right.
I mean, nothing, nothing illegal really, but it's just, I don't want the world knowing what I'm thinking about, because it's usually super embarrassing.
Exactly.
And that's probably everybody.
Yeah.
So in a universe where you can't have those kinds of secrets, but you also can't explain them. Like, if you're thinking about how hot an anime chick is, that just flashes up over your head. Nobody else has context for it. Nobody knows why. And you don't know that that's just happened. So if somebody calls you on it, you've got to rush to justify what it is. Otherwise, people just know you as that fucking anime girl on his head guy. Right?
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, you would get an idea of who people are pretty quickly, pretty much what they're all about. But at the same time, you would know far more than anybody wanted you to. Right. So you got to think, like, say, and we always end up on serial killers, and I think that's my fault. But let's say that, you meet like a serial killer, and just all day, just cute little 16-bit bloody emoji heads are above his face all day long.
All day long.
I mean, you get a read on that guy. You kind of know ahead of time that there's something dark happening in there. So maybe the world's a little bit safer.
Right.
Maybe it's a little bit easier to get an idea. I mean, there's there has to be a hit somebody in the back of the knees with a crowbar emoji, right?
But you gotta think of it like an emoji. Like, it's gotta be kind of small and kind of like one idea. So it'd just be like the back of knees bending in with a crowbar.
Yeah, with like a crowbar and a little lightning bolt or some kind of nonsense to denote
They all
impact.
have to be kind of cutesy, you know?
Yeah. Even the worst stuff is a little cute.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh God, I keep thinking of just the most awful shit that
See,
you could have an emoji of. Oh, it's so bad.
It's great though, because like, you know right away how somebody feels about you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they can't control, what they think.
Oh, not at all.
So
Like,
it works.
as soon
So
as
like,
they...
if you're a guy who goes to a bar, there's, there's a bunch of people talking and emojis probably flying everywhere.
Well, go ahead. And
You
then I'll
start
tell
talking
you
to
my
this
thing.
girl, and it's like right away, it's like they've got a
Frowny face.
bored emoji,
Yeah.
or like the emoji with X's
It's
on
got
its
fucking
eyes.
Z's coming off and shit.
Exactly.
So it's always the cartooniest, most humiliating version of a thing.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like right away you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this person's not interested.
The
So
thing-
it's like above your head, there's like a little heartbreak emoji.
Oh my God. And they know
And
that
they
you
know.
feel bad.
Yeah.
And then you see like this satisfied grin emoji
Oh
over
my
their head.
God. That's what I would feel like.
Power trip. Dude, you would have to have so much self-confidence to try to do anything, because every single thing that you think is broadcast
Is there.
So if you
Yeah.
go into like a bar, let's say, and you want to pick somebody up and you sit down with them, and the first thing they see over your head is like an emoji approximation of their boobs. Like, it's the same shirt. Like, they know it's them. No chance that it's not. And they're looking at you, and you're like, probably by context, you could just look at the ground and say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I'm bad.
Exactly.
I know I did wrong.
The thing is, though, you'd have some people that would be understanding of it, though. I mean, you're in a bar.
Presumably, it would become like a... Okay, this is stupid, but like, say that there's a society where everybody uncontrollably farts at least twice a day.
Right.
People are okay about you accidentally farting because that's happening to them
That's how
twice a day too.
I was about to say that
So,
happens.
to some extent, it would probably have to work into our society. Like right now, if you go up to somebody and you're a complete tool to them, nobody takes you out back and shoots you.
Right.
Generally speaking.
Here's the thing, and I thought about, so much went through my head when I thought about this.
Yeah.
Because I always think about how, like, whenever me and you, for example, are like out and about and we go to Walmart or we go to the mall or something like that, I'll see somebody and I'll just kind of go, what are they thinking? Like, what are they doing? Like, because, you'll make weird eye contact with somebody and it's like a little too long of eye contact. And it's like, it's not like ooh, I'm into you eye contact. It's like
it's that moment of
it's
panic
that just,
style.
like we're just staring at each other.
We've seen each other. We need to interact in some way to end this without it being awkward.
I just want to know what emoji's going over their head. Like,
I super don't. I mean... Because you got to think, I mean, I guess it would come down to whether or not you feel good about this comes down to your attitude and perspective.
True.
And kind of the world that I live in mentally is a world where other people are super spooky. So even though I like people, I like talking to people, in general, I kind of file away like, you will probably be evil.
Right.
In some way.
Which makes sense, though.
But I deal with all these fucking, rich people in the city and whatnot now. And it's gross and they're spooky. They're scary people. They really are. There's at least one person who has killed someone who didn't deserve it in the set of people that I'm talking to, for sure.
Man, that's actually terrifying.
They're reptilian elite, like straight up and down. But that's a story for another time.
Right. Reptilian.
Oh yeah, dude, totally. They're definitely the Illuminati lizards.
So you don't want that, though. You don't want that eye contact of oh no, we've seen each other.
I guess from the outset, my impression of things is that people are gonna see me, and then it's just immediately a frowny face, right? Like, just, oh, here comes this fucking fat beard guy. I got enough of this in my life. Frowny face. Frowny face right out of the gate. I don't need to hear what he has to say. Frowny face. And,
but I mean, everybody's going to see it. So, I mean, what if somebody is like, what if I'm your friend and we're walking and you make eye contact with somebody and I see frowny face and I'm like, hey, Fuck you, man.
And then it's just like a pair of hands around somebody's throat. Yeah. Like, oh shit, man, this guy's pretty aggressive.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that would be rough too, because I guess it would depend on this. Now, the degree of what will register. Let's say, is there like a certain threshold of conscious thought that you have to hit, or does it register just impulse?
I think it registers just impulse. Like, what's your knee-jerk reaction?
That's a dangerous world to live in, because there's going to be a lot of times where you walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, I don't mean to be a pain, but my order, like, I'm missing a cheeseburger." And then there's just an emoji of somebody having their eyeballs gouged out. Right? Like, that interaction ends with you getting the hamburger.
But you're
having a very different Tuesday than you were before you went up to the counter.
Right.
Definitely.
Exactly.
And so, it would we would have to kind of develop into people with kind of a hard, we'd have to be able to deal with that kind of constant
hold back our
reality
impulse.
Like, a lot of what gets people through the day, people who are like hugely disliked think that people love them. Right. So to go through the world having no illusions about who you are and where you rank with other people, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
Unless you're awesome. But I don't think a lot of people
I just live in
awesome.
this. I don't think so either. Because, see, my fantasy world always exists in these things. Because it's like, if I was a single man, I would constantly be like walking up to girls and being like, "Sup?" And then it's like right away seeing if there's like a knee jerk.
You just walk from one to the next,
exactly,
just knocking them down like bowling
one
pins.
To the next before somebody's like, "Oh,"
and then you get one that's like basically accepting, and you're like, "I got one."
Exactly.
I'm gonna spend a few minutes with you, sister.
Exactly. I'm gonna talk to you, Cynthia.
Do you think that would be how things would start to develop? Like, you wouldn't actually. It would go from, right now in society, if you want to try to pick up somebody for a date, you got to go and you got to talk to them and you got to find, you have to basically play out the conversation. Would it turn into a world where you just walk up, stand in front of somebody, see whether or not they react even a little positively? And if they don't, you just keep walking?
That's probably going to be the dating world. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be everyday life.
Do you think that would be better?
Yeah, I kind of do.
I mean,
but at the same time, it would be kind of worse too, though, because your knee-jerk reaction's not always the right one.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody can surprise you and be different,
exactly,
just depending on.
Because it's happened a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, just in when I went to that fighting game tournament, people that you would just see and be like, "Oh, it's that guy," and then they're like, you don't even know the guy, but then it's like they're super nice, like out of nowhere. So it's like knee-jerk reaction and first impulse could be wrong.
So you walk up to somebody that you really admire and you see the "please don't stab me" emoji pop over their head for a second. And then they're totally cool, and it's like, that's why I had to ask, is if there's a threshold to it or if it's just what you feel.
It's like
because the first thing you feel isn't, most of the time we don't act on what we think initially or at all. So to just constantly have your knee-jerk reaction broadcast to other people, that's the grease that keeps the wheels spinning in our world, is that you can feel completely awful about somebody, but still play it cool.
Exactly.
So if, like when we used to work at Earthlink, if we were to walk in there and just every time we walk in, there's just an AK-47 over my head... pretty shortly thereafter, they're going to find a reason to get me out of there.
Man, like, I still don't understand, it's kind of off topic a little bit, but that the 31st was a year since I lost that job.
Wow.
And it's like, going in there, I wouldn't be an AK-47. I'd be happy as crap, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about you.
Because even now, I know, right? I'm a weirdo.
I got one of those. How Bugs Bunny will hold up a sign that's just like screwball.
Yeah,
like that's what I've got for you right now. Like, you were fine with that job. You didn't mind that?
Nah,
because it was bad.
I missed it. I miss it.
You miss it?
I miss it.
How long were you there?
9 months.
Well, you were there when the ship was sinking. You knew there was an end to it.
True.
Also, I expected to just be there until I wasted away into a pile of ash that they swept up and put out back.
Man.
Those people. Those fucking people, man. Talking over the phone would be fine. You wouldn't have to worry about that anymore.
But that's true.
That would be the only way you could talk to somebody without them knowing that you have whatever feeling you have. Yeah. So that you're just, you have an emoji of them with their eyes X'd out in your head.
Yeah.
That might be the only safe way to communicate anymore. Texting gets better. People don't use emojis anymore for obvious reasons. They've had enough of that shit just in their regular conversations.
It's interesting, man, because like I think I'm just super curious about what's going on in people's heads.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're right. You're absolutely right. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
You really don't, because most of the stuff I think of, people don't want to know what I'm thinking of.
Well, that's the difference between like an awesome power and a shitty life, is being able to target those moments, to be able to decide you want to know what's in somebody's head. Okay, I want that.
Right.
I want to be able to jump into somebody's head and see what
all
they're
the
saying.
time.
But to just constantly feel like I'm being judged, because you are.
Yeah.
All day, every day, you're being, judged and determined your worth and whatnot.
Right.
But as soon as you are actually clued into that process happening to you,
I think
shit.
my favorite example that this is you. I'm crediting this to you entirely.
Okay.
Was when you're standing in line like at like a gas station or something, and a gun appears over somebody's head, and it's
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like, okay, well, what do we do now?
Yeah, exactly.
Is he thinking about, is he just thinking about how cool guns are? Is he thinking about an action movie? Is he thinking about going home and he's going to fire off a couple of rounds out back?
Yeah, he's going to shoot his gun.
Is he thinking about methodically executing all of us within 5 or 6 seconds before anyone can react or do anything? Also, now that I've thought about him laying waste to the place, he can see a picture of me thinking of him laying waste to the place. I gotta get out of this fucking shell station.
Yeah, you gotta run.
This is serious shit. So that in itself is troubling. Like,
that's terrifying.
Because you'll look at somebody and you'll think, oh, that guy's all fucked up. And then you'll see him see you think he's all fucked up. And then he'll know whether or not you think you're tough enough to take him, because you'll have an emoji above your head of you tearing ass out the door.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There would
and he's
definitely
got an emoji of like a fist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Absolutely. Like, as soon as he sees that you've got the flight response coming in, he definitely kicks into jock mode.
Okay, I can take this guy.
I can definitely win in this. And I mean, you're just standing in front of a mirror, right? And what you do is you have a tape recorder, or the modern equivalent, I guess.
Yeah.
Because this isn't fucking 1986.
Exactly.
You have a recording of just like the loudest noises, people screaming at you, just like super scary stuff. Like, you have recordings of war and horrifying things, anything that could scare you, just constantly playing them over and over, conditioning yourself so that anytime you hear them, it's a chainsaw appears above your head. Like something that just says, you don't really fuck with me.
Exactly.
I'm the chainsaw head guy. Right? So the rest of the day, totally normal. But I mean,
condition yourself to think certain things. Yeah.
Even if you do that, just imagine, like, you're at dinner with your family and somebody drops a plate in the kitchen and all of a sudden a bloody chainsaw appears over your head. I can't think of any safe way to catch all this thing. That's what makes it so unruly and so dangerous. I can't think of any way that you could conceivably get it in a box,
right,
and keep it safe. Even when we had talked about the honking thing from the last episode, you could shut up.
Right.
There was a way to stop.
Quiet. Yeah, you can't stop this.
There's no way to stop this. And I mean, any time that you start to feel like you're acting like an idiot, they can see an emoji of you feeling like you're acting like an idiot. Then they can see an emoji of you realizing that they are realizing that you think you're acting like an idiot. And then you see their reaction, because they do think you're an idiot. And by the end of that conversation, you're dead.
Right. You know what else sucks is if you're racist.
Oh, yeah, everybody's going to know that.
Yeah.
Everybody's racist, too. That's going to be the problem. That's what it's going to be. Like, yes, that will be the thing. Even if you're not racist, because there's a thing that nobody wants to talk about that I think is very funny. Okay, and that's, if you're a white person, you are racially activated, whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the way that modern society is, there's a history of white people not being very cool
Of course.
to other races, for sure.
Yeah.
But since like the 70s and 80s, you know, things started turning around with the civil rights movement and white people got conscious of the fact that that wasn't good.
Right.
Now, even if you wish the best for, let's say, a black person, when they arrive, unless you're used to it, unless you've grown up in an environment where they're just anybody else,
Right.
the first thing you think is, don't be racist.
Yeah.
Don't be racist.
Exactly.
Don't be racist. Don't be racist. So you'll just like, just a nice everyday person comes up who happens to be black, and the first thing they see is an image of a white person, like with a subservient black person in the emoji, but then like a Ghostbusters circle with a line through it. And that's representative of no. I think you're good. You're fine. You're great. You're better
person,
than me. You're
right?
black. You're better than me.
You just have to
the racial
instantly
thing.
justify it instantly. No.
So no. For real though. For real.
Don't look. It's
Please
fine.
don't. You're just putting your hand in front of your head. Do you think they would sell complicated hats that cover up your forehead?
They wouldn't be able to. It comes out regardless.
Because it's magic.
Because it's magic,
I love
exactly. You can't do nothing about it, man.
I love this
But it's
awful
like-
genie that lives in our universe.
What if you see like a lesbian couple,
Yeah.
and instantly you you don't say anything, you're just walking, you have like a little lesbian emoji come up with like a slash through it, and then a Bible verse under it or something crazy.
It's like you maybe you're a bad person because you don't agree with what they feel, but this is a fight you probably still wouldn't have jumped into.
Exactly, you probably wouldn't have went over there. Like
You've introduced the option of them coming over and being like, "We'll let's educate you on how Taekwondo works."
Exactly, we're just
we're
gonna
gonna fuck
kick your
you
ass
up because we didn't feel like feeling bad today.
right. So it's like, man, you can't think anything. I
That's bad. What I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought you were gonna like, you see a couple with like lesbian emojis, and then you have to be the guy who's like, you just have a little sign that pops up in your head in cute little 16-bit emoji style that says, "Is scissoring real?"
Yeah, exactly. It's got like two like legs going into each other with a question mark.
Oh no!
Or
would
it's like
be real bad.
Or it's like, for real, if you like for me, the real response is like, if you see like actually attractive lesbians, like really cute lesbians, it's like, God. Anyway, harking back to old podcasts,
Yeah.
like of the olden days, it's like you just have like a little lesbian emoji of them kissing above your head, and you're staring.
But that emoji keeps flashing up.
It just keeps
Everybody
going.
else's stuff just happens once, but it's just burning a hole through them with your eyes. An emoji of two women kissing.
Is
flashing
that
over
more offensive, or is it the angry that they are lesbians more offensive?
I'm sure they would be happier to not have known about either of those things. I can say that for sure. I don't know. I mean, at that point, we have to introduce our new segment, Ask a Lesbian. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That would be a great segment to have. I would like to talk to a lot of different kinds of people and find out about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we would in short order, we would find out what is and is not more offensive. And
Man.
this would be a rough time to have everything you think actually exposed, because this is like a very witch hunty kind of time where even if, say that you disagree with with somebody's lifestyle,
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
for whatever fucking reason you think that, and you don't involve yourself in their business.
Right, exactly.
You
You're
stay
not
out
like,
of the way. The law's
right.
the law, whatever the fuck.
Right.
You maybe disagree with it, but you don't make a fuss about it.
Which is me. That is honestly me.
Okay. Well, you still have... Really? Even with the, you're kind of a fan of lesbians.
Oh, I mean, I like lesbians. Don't get me wrong. But, I think morally and biblically, it's wrong.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But I don't like... But see, the thing
We
is...
just lost our audience.
I know, right? But I just don't dive into it. I don't walk over there with my hands crossed and I'm like...
let me tell you a thing.
Hold on.
Well, in this universe, you're going to tell every single person every time
I'm
you
going to
think
tell
about it.
everybody, right?
So, even if it's not especially offensive or not, they would know right off the bat, like, well, this is a person we got to avoid because they think that we're wrong.
And that's the thing. That's the...
And that may not be the entirety. Like, you are actually... I know enough about you to know that, like, even if you think that, you get along with people.
I do.
Like,
and
you're not going to go up to somebody and say, you're wrong, just for you personally.
Absolutely
like,
not.
This is not a path I would take.
No.
So that's okay. But they're not going to know that.
They're not going to know that, right?
They're just going to know, here comes another shitty fucking dude going to tell me how to live my life.
Exactly. And that's where the bad comes out, because even if I disagree, like, with people who do drugs or something, it's like, I don't agree with you doing drugs, but I'm not going to come up and give you a speech about, like,
Well, I mean, that's the world we live in right now, though, and that's why this is so scary, is that...
Yeah, that's true.
Even though
Super
you're
true.
not harming anybody by not liking what they're doing, if you were to say that online, there's a reasonable chance that you would be lit on fire for it.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, again, like, I don't feel the same way, but I don't really care that you think that, because in my experience, you've never gone to hurt anybody because of it or tell them to do
Absolutely
anything
not.
differently.
No.
But there are people out there who would love to rip you a new asshole just for having felt it.
And that's what's crazy, man. You're absolutely right. You can't just feel anything anymore and just still be a decent human being. Like, you have to, whatever you feel, it instantly converts you into that thing.
You become that.
Yeah. So it's like, it's so crappy, man, because if you play video games, you're instantly fat. You're instantly like stink. You don't bathe.
That's going away now. Now if you play video games, you're a cool guy who does football too. Fucking children.
That's if you play Call
I
of Duty.
hate that mainstream shit, man. I was talking to a lady the other day. I was like, I earned being a lazy piece of shit who loves video games more than anything else.
Right.
Don't you come up to me with your hair that's been bleached blonde by the sun, looking all tan and having fun talking to girls and playing football. Tell me about how you like Mega Man. You don't know shit about Mega Man.
Exactly.
Mega Man saw me every day after school and he said, there, buddy. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be good.
You never had anybody say there to you. You don't need that kind of interaction. You go to hell. You go take your football and you be friends with it in the corner, because fuck you.
I think I would get in more trouble.
Yeah.
Not with like things I disagreed with, but around children. There'd be constant emojis of like the kid I see with a gun to its head.
Just
arms around its throat, or hands around its throat.
The knee-jerk thought that I always have, every time a kid starts crying in a Walmart, in a restaurant, at
I hear it
theater,
all the time now because I'm working at a mall.
The first thing I always think is just an image of the parent just grabbing the kid like a kidnapping victim with their hand over their mouth and running them out the door. Just like, I want you to treat that kid like a bomb. I want you to get that fucking thing out of here to minimize civilian casualties.
Exactly.
Do anything. So if every time that happens, I have that flash over my head, I'm going to be very popular wherever I'm working.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, man. If that happened where I work now, like it would be terrible.
So, but okay. So this is kind of a dark direction to take it in, but I am interested. I think it's a meaningful thing to talk about. To some extent, there is a Minority Report situation going on.
Yeah.
Where you would see somebody who's thinking about like rape. Or you're seeing somebody who is like a pedophile, and you're getting the signs, right? So I guess you just fucking go watch Minority Report for an examination of whether or not it's okay to punish people ahead of time. But that would be really difficult to deal with in society. Let's say that you are a person who maybe you do have like rape fantasies. And you're never, ever going to hurt anybody.
Exactly. Like, it's never going to happen. Which
I know there's somebody out there listening who's already angry that I just said that.
I know.
Somebody who thinks about rape is a rapist.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I don't necessarily... My whole thing is, like, don't get out of the couch until somebody's really going to do something.
Right.
Otherwise, let's just keep seated.
Right.
And that goes back to what we were talking about, where, like, if you think a thing... You are that thing.
Exactly.
You must be punished.
That's it now.
Shamed.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying that it's not fucked up to think that or not think that. It's just, if you're thinking it, you are visibly giving off the same signs as a person who is doing it.
Right.
So we all have guns, for sure, right?
I guess so, yeah.
If everybody's got a gun, then we're all safe, right? Right? Okay.
The thing is
it sounds so stupid when anybody says it out loud.
There's a difference in, like, you know, like, if you're seeing, like, signs of these things when somebody's just in public.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We can probably go ahead and watch that person because that's probably real. But it's like, if you're just hanging out with somebody at the house or something, you don't really know.
Yeah.
Because if that just pops in their head for some reason.
It's like we were having a good time eating pie.
And all of a sudden...
I saw something I didn't want to see.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's when it's like, well, are they just thinking about...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you don't know.
Or are they, you know, in what context do I relate to what the horrible thing I just saw?
Exactly. Yeah. Were they thinking, maybe I should ask this friend if they'll help me bury this body? You know?
Oh, goodness.
Like, wow. So, anyway, a lot of things. See, it's so funny because every time we record these and I start talking and we just have a conversation, I'm like, I always think of the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And you're always like the negative stuff.
Yo, totally.
And then like you instantly bring me there, and I'm like, oh man, this is.
Oh no, I'm definitely grandpa. It's all shit for sure. Yeah. Like I can't help it because it.
But you have good points. It's not like you're just shitting on it to shit on it.
Well, you know, I mean, we did spend some time on the fun of it, and
right.
and I think that stuff's fun.
Yes,
I think
that stuff's awesome.
I think sitting somebody down in front of another person and watching them try to deal with the rape symbol is interesting. Yeah. And I don't think that their pain is fun, but I do think that it is massively interesting and entertaining to see how people would handle that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, in turn, I have the emoji for kind of getting off on your painful situation above my head.
Right.
So I'm all fucked up and people are treating me like a creep too.
Exactly.
But, you know, I think a lot of people would have that emoji over their head. I think a lot of people, you know, there's a reason that the news sensationalizes murders, and it's not because people hate them and don't pay attention when they hear about them.
Right, exactly.
So that's my way of justifying
Well, and also, I get very angry, like, just over some small, stupid stuff. Like, I admit it, I get really fast angry, like, at stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, my knee-jerk reaction for some of this stuff is, like, to cut somebody's head off or you know.
No, I'm already thinking about like, what do I do? Because like my kid has started getting to the point now where he will tell lies that are really shitty lies that you can tell are lies.
Yeah.
So he every time he does that, I guarantee I have an emoji of me just drop kicking him into the sun.
Exactly.
And even though I don't act on that, currently he resides on this planet, I still feel like, man, I could just send you straight into space into a ball of plasma that incinerates you so that I don't have to deal with this today.
Exactly.
So that impulse reaction is, we end up with kids
terrifying.
dying pretty regularly all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a part of a relationship. Being like, if you're married or dating somebody,
right? Oh, man,
and they say something like, if you're not absolutely 100% up on them at all times, you're going to be making them feel so betrayed every time you're like, I just want to do something by myself emoji.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, fine, fuck it. Why don't you do everything by yourself?
Exactly.
Let's get a divorce. Divorce emoji.
Exactly.
I'm getting half emoji. Fuck you emoji. It's like, shit, I only got one. That was a lot.
That was a bunch, yeah.
I think you're getting a little greedy with it. You're getting greedy with the emojis emoji.
Yeah, what if you get mad and like you have several impulses, you just get like a bunch of emojis like
you just get a friggin' cloud of them up above your head, like way too many to process. Oh, sweet Jesus. It would be a difficult world to navigate if we were forced to deal with that.
Man.
Except for blind people. Because they can't see, you know?
Alright, here we go.
Here we go now. Gonna take it down. It's the end of the show. What's going on, folks? Yes, the end of the mother show. End of the show. Yes, we Jesus alone. I want to take a ride in your Camaro. Yeah, end of the show. End of the show. Yeah.
Got it, we're printing.
God, print money.
Printing some damn money.
Print it.